deserve the 3 minutes of my time here. So that's actually what I thought about. Like, what should I tell you about? I can tell you about my experiences that I had in Iran, and Nana told a lot about that already. So I went back to the people I met in Iran in that week that I was there actually, and I asked them, what do you want to tell them? What do you want to tell these people who are doing this conference for you guys back there? So a lot of the information I'm presenting you is from the guys in Iran. I'm going to present you who are these guys and what do they want from you. So what can we help, and a little bit of my own input in there. So this is Iran right now. If you haven't been back there, go and see if you can. It's really strange. We have this huge opportunity in Iran. There is so many people, so many young, talented people, educated people right there in Iran. The technology sector technology infrastructure is getting there. There is internet everywhere. There is WiMAX, even in rural areas. There is internet now. We have the first 3G network, and it's not super good, but it's also not super bad. So there is already a lot of stuff there. You can build on it, but there is not much education. And the thing is, it's really funny because startups in Iran, there is no angel investors. And I asked myself, why is there no angel investors? We hear like, we need angels to start up, but they don't need it. They don't need angels because there is money there. First, it's cheap. It's super cheap to have an internet or mobile startup. It's super cheap if you're a developer, it's even cheaper. And then there is Iranian family money, right? Your uncle and your mom and your dad. And they're entrepreneurs too, a lot of them, right? Or they have a house and they give you money, and it's always like there is some kind of starting up money. Like we call it here friends, family and fools. There it's maybe only family and friends, not that many fools. But it's already money that you can start up with. But it's dumb money, as you call it in the startup scene. It's not experienced startup money, but it's money that can help you start up. So how is the startup scene there? There is actually, and Mana will have met a lot, Puja will have met a lot of them. I actually heard about you before from the guys in Iran, only good things. And it's really funny to see there is, actually in each big city, there is only maybe a handful or 2 handfuls of people who really lead the community. The startup community is usually led by very few people, but those are really passionate and they gather the second, and it's always like these onions. You have these onion rings around these people, and they facilitate these events. They have made so many events. They had startup weekends, and these are internationally renowned events with global sponsors like Google, Coca-Cola, and others, right? So there's a lot of people going there, and actually how I went there and how I met the startup people was through a German guy. I saw him post on Facebook that he's in Iran facilitating startup weekend. And I'm like, I'm Iranian, I facilitate startup weekend in Cologne, why can't I do it there? Why is a German guy going there? And it's really cool. I don't think it's bad that he goes there. I think it's awesome that someone who's not from our diaspora but likes to get in touch, goes there and helps us. And then there is still, you talk with people, and there's still a lack of education. Puja already said, people still, there is access to information. The internet is less blocked than in China. I've lived in China, and China is really blocked, but they still get information. In Iran, we have a lot of information at our fingertips, because blogs and news are open. Facebook is blocked, but it's also easy to get on. Right? So there is this access to information, but there is still, people need to get presented with it. There needs to be translations. There is, I think now, the Lean Startup has been translated to Farsi. There is some other design thinking books, I think they get translated, and it's a really good thing because people still like their own language, and they still are better in their own language to read and faster, right? Especially with books that are so thick. And the ecosystem is still very, very early stage. You see that when a VC gets 50% of your company to give you some late stage money, and you're already in black numbers. You're already making profits, and a VC takes away 50% of your company. That's impossible to think of, even in Europe. Even in Germany, where we give up maybe 30%. And you can see also the international public is not aware of Iranian startups, and Iranian startups are not really going public. You have AngelList, which is the international directory for ICT startups, but you go there on Iran and you see 30 startups. There is more than 30 startups in Iran. Okay. So this is one of the conferences. They had it already in a video. This is a conference with a lot of people, a lot of international people get invited, and it's every year. And if you want to go there, just tell the people, and they make it happen. They don't have this funding. They don't have a lot of money. They can't fly you in there. But if you're going anyway to Iran, just tell them, and they get you on a program or something. There is Startup Weekend. It's really crazy what they did in 18 months. I've never seen that in any country in the world. 18 months, 15 events, and 2,000 people attending. It's unheard of in the history of Startup Weekend. It's crazy. And it's all people, it's maybe not people, it's 120 teams, but it's not 120 startups that get out of there. Maybe 3, 4, 5. But there is a lot of connections being built there, inside the scene. There's a lot of education going in these events, because people from outside are coming in and mentoring and teaching. Right? So there is also, you see that already, international interest in Iranian startups. Investors are gaining interest, especially from the Middle East. If you ask people from Dubai, they're like, maybe I should go there. If you ask Americans, they're like, maybe if the sanctions get down a little, maybe I should go there. And they are thinking about it, but us, we're not thinking about it. So it's really cool how you see even people like Christopher. They went on a business trip to Iran, and he's writing articles in Harvard Business Review and on Pandal Daily, which is the biggest startup blog, or one of the most important startup blogs in Silicon Valley. And he's writing about Iran and giving us publicity, giving the people, and he's not from Iran, right? I mean, Roxanne is from Iran and Mahu is from Iran, and they're doing great jobs to bring it out into international public that Iran is there, and even without that, that's what we diaspora can do, right? So what does the ecosystem need? That's usually what every startup ecosystem needs. They need startups, right? If we want to have more successful startups, we need more startups. We don't need more money, we need more money too, but if there is startups, we saw it in Berlin, there's more companies, money will follow. Right? And then we need first big exits. If there is no exit, we don't have an angel network. If someone does a big exit, he gets 20, 30, 50 million out of it, he maybe reinvests 5 million in new startups. And he can help them really. He's not dumb money. He's really intelligent money. He's smart money, and he built maybe an e-commerce shop. He can help the next mobile commerce get off the ground with his money, because he has experience in that. And that's also education. Education goes through events, goes through seminars. A lot of us who go there, and we can do that on Skype, we can do that on Hangouts, and you can do that through accelerator programs. There's actually not even one accelerator there. There's got to be one, and I put it up there because I think it's a great project. It's called Avatech, and actually one of the people who's gonna work there is up there. She's a German girl who's gonna move for 2 years to Iran to work at an accelerator and help the startup scene. Think about that. Think about that. Okay, so money is kind of natural, and we need publicity and recognition. So what does the ecosystem need? What did they tell me? What do we need from diaspora? What would we ask someone who sits in this audience to help out with? And there was 2 comments that stood out. One is mentorship and guidance. And they have this Iranian entrepreneurship association, which is a little bit like Thai, but inside of Iran. And they want to bring these together. They have these Adopt a Founder program that they want to bring, for example, an experienced entrepreneur from outside of Iran and adopt an entrepreneur who wants to start up in Iran and help him out with his experience and tell him, hey, there's an Airbnb. If you want to do sharing economy stuff, look at these and these projects. I can introduce you to these and these guys. Right? There is mentors for the accelerator program. I'm one of them, and there's going to be a lot of others, even internationally. And the second one was be an ambassador. You guys, you Iranians outside of Iran, can be ambassadors for Iranian startups and for the Iranian ecosystem. You can show how much is happening there. You can write about it. You wrote about it already. And Roxanne writes about it. Daniel, who went to the events, the people who go there, they come back and post on Facebook how awesome it was. I posted on Instagram some pictures, and everyone was asking me, wow, Iran is so beautiful. What did you do there? And then I told them about startups. So I posted pictures and told them about startups. And people are saying, like, Iran's people back in Iran are struggling to keep up with us, with the diaspora, because the diaspora is so successful. I think one of my speakers told about some of these people already, right? The co-founder of Dropbox, CEO of YouTube, really high VP up at Twitter. You have one of the most important investors in Silicon Valley being an Iranian and still having some roots over there. And Roxanne is actually doing a really, really good job. These are only 5 people, but there is a lot of others. And we're not India. India has a lot more. And we can learn a lot from India. We can learn a lot from China, actually. But we have these resources outside, and it needs some courage to go back and even have some connection. Even if you don't go back, there is always these things. Yeah, I'm an IT company and I want to give my software to Iranian people, but I also want to give it to the CIA. But if I work with an Iranian company, I can't work with the CIA anymore, and the CIA pays better than Iranian, right? So what should I do? Or maybe, I don't know, but that was the decision of a friend of mine from MIT. So we didn't do it in the end, but that's stuff that is, I think, going to better now that the people are opening up inside. When you go back, you see it, you feel it. I hadn't been back for 6 years, and I went back, and you see the difference. It's so crazy. It's you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it. So what can you do? It's 3 things. Spread the word. Get in touch with the people there, get in touch with the people who went there and can get you in touch, right? And work together, like I said, you can cooperate. It's more than just doing outsourcing. You can do like the Vietnamese do, like a lot of Indians do, like a lot of Ukrainians and Russians do. They build an app company there, or a software company in Iran. They have a lot of developers, very cheap. And then they go to the US, they go to Europe and sell those services. It's good, it helps the economy, it's okay, it educates people. But you can even work on more complex projects. There's really talented people there with really open minds, with very different viewpoints than you guys. You have been here, you have a very different viewpoint. And diversity is all about viewpoints, and then you see a lot of new solutions to really interesting problems. So who can you talk about? There's some resources in Iran that you can check out. You can have my slides from the team, organizing team, or just hit me up with a mail or on Facebook or Twitter. There is these guys that I met, 5 guys. There is also women. I met more guys, but there's actually, at some events, nearly 40% women. It's really crazy. In Silicon Valley, there's an average of 10% women in the startup scene. In Iran, we have nearly 40%. That's really something different. And that's with those laws and those oppression that women feel in Iran, and they still do it. Right? So there's these 5 people. Actually, Mohsen is the guy who's doing the accelerator, and he and Hamid Reza and Shayan here, they're doing IEA. They're doing also Karya. They're doing a lot of work to help the startup ecosystem. They're doing all the startup weekend stuff. Then there is Mubin, who's leading the Iran Startups Facebook group and all of the Iran Startups events. And there is Hadi. Hadi is a really, really fun guy. He has worked in London for a lot of years. He's been in one of the main accelerators in London for some time, so he's a lot of experience, and he went back. He wasn't in London, he could have stayed in London, he goes to London a lot, but he went back, because he sees a lot of opportunity there. And I met a lot of people, someone who worked at Amazon and Yahoo before, and now works at an e-commerce company in Iran. And he's there because he sees the opportunity. And that's a lot about the infrastructure. He saw at this e-commerce company, they don't have third-party logistics in Iran. So now his mission is build a third-party logistics provider in Iran. And he's going to make tons of money with it, but he's also going to help Iranian people, right? So that's why I say go back or get in touch or just spread the word. You can help even with just retweeting something from someone. Thank you.